Howdy, friend. Sam Houston here, hoping you're living in high cotton. And if you're lucky enough to be in Texas, I know you're most of the way there. Now enjoy your daily dose of Texas history and Texas pride.
Howdy, friend. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast and your Texas History Roundup for November 26th. In 1826, 39 settlers from the Aish Bayou marched to Nacogdoches, where they seized Samuel Norris as a leader of the established settlers, Hayden Edwards, a recent impresario, and Jose A. Sepulveda, Mexican political chief, and tried them for oppression and corruption. Edwards was released, and the other two were forced to relinquish their offices, and a new alcalde was appointed. At issue was settlers being forced off their land, which Edwards claimed was his right as an impresario. Including Edwards in the arrest was likely a ruse. On December 21st, Edwards claimed independence from Mexico, but then fled to Louisiana when Mexican forces arrived on January 31st to restore order. In 1835, the Grass Fight was the last engagement before the Siege of Bexar, San Antonio, by the Texians. A train of pack animals suspected of carrying pay or supplies for the Mexican army was seen approaching the town, and 40 Texas cavalry and 100 infantry were sent to capture them. When the skirmish ended, the captured pack train was found to be carrying grass for the animals of the besieged Mexican army. In 1864, the First Battle of Adobe Walls, a fort near the Canadian River, ended after 2 days of combat. The bloody engagement resulted from General James H. Carleton's determination to halt attacks on Santa Fe wagon trains by Comanche and Kiowa Indians. Carleton had sent Colonel Christopher Kit Carson and about 400 men on a long trek through New Mexico to attack a large winter camp of Comanches and Kiowas in the vicinity of Adobe Walls. Although greatly outnumbered by 3,000 to 7,000 Indians, Carson's forces inflicted major damage, in large part due to their howitzers. 6 of Carson's men died, as did an estimated 100 to 150 Indians. Though not a victory, Carleton described Carson's attack and retreat as an outstanding military accomplishment in the face of overwhelming odds. The fort would be the scene of another battle against Indians led by Quanah Parker a decade later. In 1875, Henry P. Casey died in Milam County. He came to Texas with his family from Tennessee in 1829 at age 10. The family obtained land near the Colorado River and established a ferry called Casey's Ferry, where the Columbia-Goliad Road crossed the river. In 1835, at the age of 16, Casey was involved in the capture of La Bahia and moving an 18-pounder cannon almost 200 miles to the Siege of Bexar. In March 1836, he was with Colonel James W. Fannin on his retreat from Goliad, but escaped the Goliad massacre because he was with the wagon train. General Sam Houston thought him too young for another battle and had him guard women and children during the runaway scrape, so he missed the Battle of San Jacinto. In 1878, future Texas Governor Pat M. Neff was born in Coryell County. In 1881, the Gould-Huntington Agreement was signed by Jay Gould of the Texas Pacific Railway and Crowless Huntington of the Southern Pacific Railroad. Among the items of agreement, the tracks would be joined at Sierra Blanca, about 90 miles east of El Paso. The companies would have joint use of the track between Sierra Blanca and El Paso, and the Texas and Pacific would relinquish its right-of-way for a portion of its route in New Mexico that had been built upon by the Southern Pacific. The tracks joined at Sierra Blanca on December 15, 1881, and the agreement served both companies well. In 1919, opera singer Josephine Lucchese, daughter of the bootmaker Sam Lucchese, made her debut in New York as Olympia in Tales of Hoffman. Josephine was born in San Antonio in 1893 and received most of her musical training there. She became an acclaimed opera singer, and in Europe was well known as the American Nightingale. Josephine died in San Antonio in 1974. In 1932, Johnny Vaught played his last regular season game for TCU, which was an 8-0 win over rival SMU. He was captain of the Horned Frogs' 1932 conference championship team and a consensus All-American guard. For 24 seasons, Vaught served as head coach at the University of Mississippi, during which 10 of his teams are ranked in the nation's top 10. He is a member of the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, and Vaught was born in Olney in 1909 and passed away in Mississippi in 2006. All right, that was your Texas History Roundup for November 26th. Thank you so much for listening. We will catch you on the next one. And remember, Texas first.
Well, there you have it. If you like our podcast, check us out at feedbandit.com. There you'll find awesome Texas First outdoors gear and apparel. Your purchase helps support the Bandits and keeps this podcast on the air, fighting for you and for Texas. Remember, preserve the tradition, protect the legacy. Until next time.